Hi guys.
Hey y'all.
Welcome to PNB's Wide World of Ports. We are here to do our review of the Carnival Magic, a cruise that we took a couple months ago, and we're a little late getting this review out, but better late than never.
Yeah.
So we've each compiled a list of our likes and our dislikes, and hopefully you guys will find it helpful. Why don't we start with Becca?
Okay,
Let's do the negatives first.
Okay, yeah.
Get that and end on a positive note.
So my first and biggest negative, if you guys watched our previous videos, you know that we had a really bad check-in time. So it just took an hour and a half. I was pretty organized, tried to keep everybody's stuff together.
She was very organized.
But if we would have had everything by cabin, by stateroom.
Which I'm almost positive, when we took a cruise on the Dream in 2018, and we were all able to, they checked us in room by room, but we were all able to do it together as a group.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to send kids, 20 yards down the counter and wonder if they had everything, so.
And it just may be new COVID stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows why they're doing it that way? But so that was a huge negative. Usually takes us 20 minutes to check in. It took over an hour and a half. So it wasn't a great day.
Are we alternating?
Sure.
Okay. I did put the embarkation process, because that was probably the worst one we've had. We've been on 12 cruises now, so. Finding the muster location, which was right after embarkation. The muster now is super simple. You watch a little thing on your TV, I'm sure most of you guys have heard about it, and then you just have to find your station. They show you how to properly put on the life vest, and they scan your card, and you're done. Well, of course, being in different cabins, we all had different muster stations. But we were told to go to the entrance to the casino, because that's where our muster station was. So we did that, and the numbers didn't match up. So if you've seen the ship tour video, or if you've been on the Magic, you know that there's a thoroughfare through the casino. So there's technically two entrances.
Thoroughfare.
Is that good?
No, I like that word.
Okay. So we went to the other entrance, and that was not the place to go. And so we asked somebody else, and they said it's at the entrance to the casino. So we thought, well, maybe it's close to the entrance to the casino. So we went around all the surrounding areas to both entrances to the casino, and nothing. And so finally, by mistake, we ended up, it was the non-smoking smaller casino, which we just happened to pass by as we were trying to find the rest of the muster stations, and the numbers matched up. So that was the correct one. We could have saved probably an hour if they would have just said, go to the smaller casino.
On deck
5 or whatever it was, yeah. And that would have been super simple, but it just kind of added a little stress on top of, the embarkation. So would have preferred if they would have just been a little more specific.
So maybe if you can't find it, make them be very specific and say, what floor is this on? Mm-hmm. What side? Is it in the middle? Is it? So,
and I'm sure that is probably just an anomaly. Most of them were super easy to find, but that's just our experience.
Yeah. I had a negative, long lines for drinks. We did get the drink package. Is that the first time we've got it?
It is. And we're not big drinkers. Present company excluded. But it included
I like to drink
everything.
a little. Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, but drinks were amazing. The only bad drink I had was with an alcohol I didn't like. So, but every other drink was really, really good. It was a long line.
Yeah.
It took sometimes 20 minutes just to get a drink.
And I think the ship was close to full capacity. We never got an official number, but it was pretty much crowded everywhere we went. But that's to be expected.
Yeah. And a side note on the drinks, they never had any amaretto.
And
in the coffee bar, which is like our favorite creamer and flavor for coffees, and they didn't have any amaretto sour, so that was a little disappointing.
Yeah, we were definitely disappointed there. Okay, my next one is when we booked this cruise, we went ahead and ordered cases of water for each of the cabins, and they didn't arrive until the third night of the cruise, which kind of defeated the purpose. Yeah, we wanted our water the first day.
Yeah, and we had an excursion one day that we didn't have we weren't able to take our own bottled water.
Yeah.
I guess we ended up getting them from the bars or whatever with our gym package.
But it just would
still,
have been a lot more convenient, especially for the kids, to just have it right there in their room.
Yeah.
Which, after the third night they did.
Yeah. My next one was, we had a long wait at dinner. So I would say this was, 3 out of 4 nights that we ate in the MDR, maybe. One night it was great service and very...
And our waiter was...
Didn't know what you were doing.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Our waiter was very nice, but I think he was just overwhelmed. He wasn't unfriendly, but he just seemed to be so preoccupied with what he had to get done that he didn't have time for the normal social niceties we're used to from wait staff.
Well, and there was one night that we sat down, we ordered, and it was an hour before we may have gotten our appetizers, but it was an entire hour before we had our meal. And so it was like, we had kids and people all wanted to go do stuff. And so that was a little wah, wah, wah.
Okay. My next one is, so one of our kids' favorite things to do is to visit the candy shop, Cherry on Top. And we stopped in there 3 separate times on this cruise, and each and every time it smelled like there was an open sewer line in there. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if that's normal for them, but it just it's a bit of a turnoff when you're gonna buy something you're gonna put in your mouth.
Yeah, we didn't buy.
Yeah.
We didn't buy much.
No.
The only one I had was our room steward, and this is just a teeny negative. We've had a couple of really, really good room stewards.
When we were on the Dream, I cannot remember what his name was, but he was the best room steward we ever had.
Yeah, and so it's with cruise directors and even your wait staff, once you have that great service, it's what you expect. And I think we saw our guy maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
Now our kids said, "Oh, our guy's amazing. We talk to him all the time." And I want to say they even left him a little gift or something, so he was really great.
Yeah.
But ours,
they loved him.
Just kind of non-existent.
And he was probably overworked, busy.
Yeah.
So
we
weren't mad.
Short-staffed, but
yeah. Okay, and my last dislike was after the embarkation ordeal that we went through, especially you and Holly with the medical and all that. On the 4th night of the cruise, they still had Holly, she's our youngest, 6 years old. They had her in the system as unvaccinated, which, we've been over this before.
Yeah, she was vaccinated.
She was vaccinated, and that's part of the reason there was a holdup at embarkation. So we thought that was straightened out, but we noticed when we were getting off the ship to go to the ports of call.
She was only allowed off of the ship if we had an excursion booked.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And so on our last day in Grand Turk, we had rented Jeeps?
No, they were golf carts.
Golf carts.
I promise she hasn't been drinking today, so.
We had rented golf carts that was outside of the ship. It didn't have anything to do with Carnival. And after looking through all this stuff, I was like, they're not going to let us off the boat tomorrow because we didn't have an excursion through Carnival booked. So we had to go down, bring her vaccination, and straighten it all out again. So that was
is time that we shouldn't have had to spend, on our cruise to get it straightened out. But to be fair, it didn't really take that long, and they took care of it. But it was just an extra hassle.
So all in all, we didn't have that many negatives, and they're all kind of teeny and small.
Yeah, and nothing horrible.
First world problems.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, you want to kick us off with the positives?
Sure. Guest services was great. There was a line. I think the most we waited was maybe 30 minutes. But they were they fixed it first time, usually. So that's not always the case.
Right.
Whenever you go to guest services, sometimes there's like an hour-long wait, and you think you fixed something and you didn't. And so we had a really good experience. And we had to go maybe 5 or 6 times for different stuff, but good experience there.
I agree. The ship layout was great. It was easy to find everything. We were already kind of familiar with it because it's similar to the Dream, which we'd been on in 2018.
Yep.
And so we already kind of had the basic idea of it, and just the way it's laid out, it's just simple to find everything. And of course they have maps throughout the ship that show you where certain things are located. So
Yeah. Next positive for me was the Mongolian barbecue place. Or is it a hibachi? What is it called? Where they put all the stuff in the wok. I think it's a Mongolian
I think
barbecue.
they call it, yeah, Mongolian barbecue.
Best meal that we ever had. The only downside, there was always a line. It didn't go that quick, but it was by far the best meal that we had. And I probably had it 3 times. It was so good.
I put the staff just because, I mean, we have never had a bad experience on Carnival as far as staff. In fact, the best service we've ever had from ship staff has been from Carnival, and it was on that cruise we took in 2018 with the Dream. So, I mean, they're just known for being so friendly and helpful, and so it was nice
And genuine.
Yeah. So it was nice to see that they're sticking to that standard.
Yeah. On that, you can tell that they're not trying to be happy and they're not trying to be friendly. They just are.
Yeah. And if they are trying, then they cover it well.
Okay, so I'm on food still. So, you know how you go to the buffet and they've got usually a line up in the front of the buffet and then in the back of the buffet, and it's usually the exact same. It's not. It wasn't. And we didn't figure that out till probably the third day.
Yeah, it was
maybe.
a little bit into the cruise.
So if you don't find something that you like, go to the other buffet because they'd have completely different food, and we just didn't know it. But it was all good.
And I actually had food on there as well. I still maintain that Carnival pizza is the best pizza at sea.
Yep.
We had it
Every
probably
day.
more than we should have.
No,
Yes.
we did have it every day.
We did every day.
Every single day.
And of course, you can't go wrong with the guy's burger. We had several of those. And food in the MDR was good. I will say it probably wasn't quite as good as our last cruise, but again, no complaints here. It was very good.
The water park. So when you watch your videos and you see the ship tour and stuff, the little water park is kind of like, I don't know, when I saw it, I was like, the kids are not gonna want to play in that all day. And they did. I mean, that we could have been there for hours upon hours upon hours. They had so much fun in it. So even though it doesn't look that big, they had a blast.
And as a side note on that, I would have to throw in the Camp Ocean, the kids club. Holly's the only one that went to that, but she absolutely loved it. It was her favorite thing. She looked forward to it every single day.
Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, the staff, they greeted her, knew her name, right off the bat. There weren't that many kids in Kids Club. I think that we timed it to where we were 1 week ahead of everybody else's spring break, which that's a tip if you're going to book something. Our spring break was a little earlier this year, but they did different activities. She was never bored. They even wrote handwritten letters and left it at our stateroom for her. Awesome. Me?
Yeah, let's go with you. That was a
oh.
bonus one that I threw in.
So coffee bar. Coffee was amazing. Something we didn't know again until like the 3rd or 4th day is every single coffee drink that they have, you can get hot, iced, or blended. And we didn't know that. And was it the macchiato? I don't know what it was, but there was something that one of the kids got and it was blended, and I'm not a big blended person, but it was amazing. So
yes. The coffee was, it was great.
Really good.
Comedy shows. Almost every comedy show we've seen on a Carnival cruise has been very good. They had 3 different comedians, and 2 of the 3 were really funny.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of our favorite things to do is go to the comedy shows. So it's nice when they have people that make us laugh. So.
Yeah, and we went to the PG shows because we had the kids, and the kids loved them.
Yep.
So it was great that we could do something that's usually not PG rated for the kids.
Yeah, and the kids look forward to it every night because it was same schedule. We'd get out of the MDR and it's like, okay, we got to go get seats for the comedy show.
Yeah. My other positive, so there was one night we did karaoke and we chose not to do our 6 o'clock dinner. So we got out of karaoke about 8:15 or so, went to the MDR, and we were like, listen, we want to sit down and eat, but we're past our time. And they're like, come on, let's go. And they just sat us. It was quick. We had our food within 15 minutes, if that. I mean, it was super, super fast service. So if you miss your dinner time or don't want to go early one night or something, just know that you can still be seated, and it was quick.
It was. All right, my last positive was getting off the ship at ports of call. It was super smooth. We never had to wait. I mean, what, 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes
Like that.
in line. We had to mask up as we got off the ship, and then as soon as we got off the ship, we could take it off. Yeah, and we were very fortunate. This cruise happened, I think, just 1 week after they took away the mask protocol, so it was pretty much back to cruising as usual. But we've had to wait in line on other cruise lines on the disembarkation for 20 minutes before, and so it's just nice to head down there and be able to get off the ship without having to wait for a long time. So.
Yep.
All right, and we did want to talk about the drinks package, the Cheers package. It was great to just be able to get any drink you wanted at any time. But as I said, 50% of us are not huge drinkers.
I am not a huge drinker.
Anyway, we seriously, we're not big
drinker.
drinkers. So I think we may have broken even on that, but the downside for me is I felt like I always had to have a drink, and even if it didn't sound good, it's like, well, if I don't get a drink, then I'm sorry, I don't mean to be shaking the camera. If I don't get a drink, then I'm losing money. So I probably got more, and I'm not talking alcohol. I mean, my favorite drink there was a Miami Vice, which didn't have hardly any alcohol in it at all. But I didn't end up probably getting drinks that I didn't necessarily want, just so I wouldn't lose money on the drinks package. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, I wish Carnival would do the no alcohol package that some of the other cruise lines do, so we could get mocktails, and because we don't necessarily have to have the alcohol. Everybody likes the specialty drinks, so it would have been nice to have that. Oh, I had some tips.
Oh.
No conclusion.
Let's go with her. We're not concluding yet. Let's go with her tips.
There's probably a ton more tips that I'm not thinking of right now, but the tips that I had and this is, I guarantee like every vlogger gives these tips, but go early to your karaoke, go early to your comedy clubs, your shows, anything that you want a good seat at, and it's 30 minutes. Comedy club, by the end of people seating right before it started, it was standing room only in every single show that we went to.
And if you get there early and you have the drinks package, it's not near as much of a wait to get your drink.
Yeah. But again, 30 minutes. Karaoke there were hundreds of people in karaoke. So we got there at least 30 minutes beforehand. If you do go to karaoke, have the name of your song, the artist, and have a backup song, because they don't have everything. They've changed it.
They don't have a book for you to look through. You just write down the song and hope for the best.
Yeah, so that's if there's a song that you want to do where it's your karaoke song, make sure you have those things, and make sure they only allowed us to do one song because they had so many people doing songs. I think in the second show we had a few repeats, but we stayed longer for that show. We already said that. Have all your documents per stateroom. Do activities early in your cruise. So you're going along and you're having a great time and you've got a sea day. Go do the ropes course. Go do golf. Go do checkers. Go do ping pong. Go do all of that stuff. Don't sit there and say, "Oh, we'll do it later," because
if you saw our last vlog, I was all geared up to go get some footage on the GoPro on the ropes course. And it started pouring down rain, and it was windy, and it did not clear up in time for me to go up and do that. And I was disappointed, but I had plenty of time that I could have done it earlier in the cruise. And
we've done that before with the rock climbing. We
still haven't. We've been on several Norwegian cruises, and everyone that has a rock climbing wall, we're like, all right, we're doing it this time.
And we never have.
We
not once.
Just end up doing other stuff and forget about it.
If you have children, young children especially, knowing that you may wait a while for food, bring a little game table. Table game. What is it? Table game. You can get it at like the dollar store or something.
Yeah, there's really not room to pack a table in the suitcase. Okay.
But I packed some and didn't bring them to dinner. But we ended up playing little games at dinner. We played telephone. We had 9 of us. And so we played the game telephone. And we played that one night that we waited an hour. That was our fancy night. Gosh, we played for 40 minutes, it seemed like. Another big, huge tip, if you're gonna book a cruise, call them. Don't book it online. And from experience, you can look online and it can give you certain cabins, but if you call, they have way more cabins available. We've just been able to get better deals, better cabins, better, whatever we want by calling. So, and also tell if you're having a birthday or anniversary or anything you're celebrating, they like to celebrate, tell them what night you want to do it. Holly got a little birthday cake and a little birthday napkin hat, and we celebrated her birthday. Her birthday wasn't until the next week. But yeah, so if you have anything that you're celebrating and you get a little cake and it's super cute and fun and yummy.
And also, if you have a travel agent, that's even better because they're working for you to get you the best deal and the best cabin for what you're looking for. So,
yep.
All right. So now can we conclude?
In conclusion,
2 thumbs up. Yes. It was a great cruise. Totally worth all the inconveniences and frustration. We just love being at sea.
Yep. All right, and guys, if you would subscribe to our channel, you will be able to see how this guy got a free cruise on MSC Seashore, which we are going to go on in a couple weeks.
Yes, and we will have a whole new set of vlogs from that cruise as well. So thanks for watching our video. Thanks for your support. And if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up.
Yeah. And if there's anything that you want to see on the seashore, let us know.
Leave us a comment below if you've been on the Magic and let us know what your experience was and if you liked it.
Have any tips or tricks?
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.